Interesting synonyms for some of the logical and bitwise operators. Let's take a look at how these work. Let's make a working copy of working.cpp and paste that into our working project. Open it up in the editor. And let's consider this expression here. I'm going to declare and initialize a couple of integers. So that's fairly simple. We have two integers, a and b. One of them is false, one of them is true. And then we test if they're both true with the AND operator. That's the logical AND, the two ampersands. And if they're true, we'll put a true. And if they're false, well, I'll put a false. Very simple. I'll go ahead and delete this line down here, save it, and compile and run. And we see we get the result false. Now, using an operator synonym, I can take this double ampersand for and I can make it into the much more human-friendly word and. You see, even Eclipse knows about it and highlights it. And then I can save this and I can run it and we get exactly the same result. Very slick, right? Now consider this expression. Look how funny Eclipse gets when I forget a semicolon. So if I go ahead and save this and run it, we get this 32. And this is the bitwise AND of A and B. There's another handy-dandy synonym. It's called bit and I can put it there and save this and run it, and you see we get the same result. Now, if I were to simply forget to type this A here and just accidentally type C equals bit and B and save it and run it, look at the error that I get. It says I'm trying an invalid conversion from an integer pointer to an int. That doesn't seem like what it is that I'm trying to do. There's a reason for that. The reason for that is that bit and is not actually a synonym. It's a text alias. If I replace this with the ampersand, you'll notice that what it is that I'm trying to assign the address of B to C. And so bit and is not really a synonym for the bitwise AND operator. It's actually just a text alias. And this is very, very confusing. And the problem gets even worse. If I do something like this, and I save this and run it, look at that. No error at all. C equals 112. Because what this is, again, if I take that bit and out and I put in an ampersand, we see it's simply a reference. I've declared a reference, a C reference, and I've assigned it to B, which is perfectly legal. And bit and makes no sense there whatsoever. So it's very important to understand how this works. Officially, these are synonyms for the logical operators, but in reality, they're text aliases, just like macro expansion. Frankly, I don't see their value and I never use them, and I suggest that you don't use them either. But if you do choose to use them, be careful. This is a table of the operator synonyms that are defined in the C++ language. Keep in mind that these synonyms are actually text aliases, and they can be a bit dangerous because it doesn't really add anything substantive to the language, and it can provide confusion. I recommend that you do not use this feature. Now let's